This is what I learned making $100,000 a month at 24. Last month, my business grossed $124,000 at 24, and these are the 7 things I learned in the process. Making that amount of money at a young age would make you to think that maybe success comes fast, but it didn't start like this at all. For the last 10 years of my life, I've been trying to make something work. I've started and failed more businesses than I can remember, made and lost more money than I can count, and been betrayed, made mistakes, fallen down, and after all that, I still feel like I'm just getting started. Every new milestone or level brings its own set of different problems, and that's one of the things you must accept when you want to be great at anything. Problems are not good or bad in nature, they're just circumstances needing solutions. The issues I face today are completely different than what I used to deal with before. Initially, I struggled with not knowing what to do or how to start, so I read every book, asked my teachers, Googled how to become a millionaire, read every WikiHow about it, meditated, and everything else you can possibly imagine. This was the beginning of my journey, realizing success was possible after all. After seeing Tai Lopez in his garage, people like Iman Gadzhi, guys around my age actually making it happen. And funny enough, I actually bought Iman Gadzhi's course when I was like 15 and tried to learn all the social media marketing stuff. After mastering my initial craft, funnel building and Facebook ads, I started reaching out to local businesses, offering to work for free or even promising their money back plus $100 if it didn't work. After months of cold calling and sending thousands of cold emails, I finally got my first client. I'll never forget his name, Dr. Derek, a local chiropractor who was just starting out as well. Working with him helped me prove to myself that I can actually deliver results, which helped completely change my mindset. And that was the beginning of it all. Since then, I've continued working in marketing with companies from all different spaces, managing campaigns for thousands of life insurance agents, big companies, collaborating with huge social media influencers like the likes of Anatoly, working with local attorneys, and basically everything in between. I'm nowhere near the pinnacle yet, but here are the top lessons I've learned so far in my journey that you can apply right now to your journey. Number 1 is you don't actually have a limit, but your mindset determines your limit. This was the biggest thing keeping me from success, and I didn't even know it. My parents brought me to this country when I was 2 with $67 to their name, and since then, we always lived barely making it, constantly in a state of fear and lack. I grew up in a 1 to 2 bedroom apartment and always hearing my landlord tell my mom that we're going to be evicted if we don't make the $800 rent for 1 more month. So for me, I kept this mentality even while I was trying to make a business and escape it. I was scared to ask people for money because I didn't even know that people can afford anything, because I wouldn't if I were them. So this took the longest for me to change because I never even knew it's a problem. So I listened to podcasts, I read books, I changed the people I talked to, I changed the things I wanted to share around my friends. So the number 1 thing is to just change your environment. When you tell a friend about your dreams or a business idea and they make comments like that could never be you or try to be more realistic, it's probably time to get new friends. I had tons of friends in high school that told me, be more realistic, you can't do this all your life, you can't just take college and school not that serious and focus on business, and I don't talk to those people anymore at all. When you first start changing your environment, what you allow in your mind and what you're listening to, everything might sound a little weird. Trying to get used to a new mindset comes with a lot of resistance. So you'll hear people like Myron Golden say, it's easier to make a lot of money in a little amount of time than it is to make a little money in a long amount of time, and you'll be like, what is this guy talking about? Does he know how life works? But the more you make that a reality and live your life based on that truth instead of believing what you were fed all your life, the more your life will begin to align with that belief. First you change your mind, then you'll change your actions, and your actions will change your results. The second thing is focus. Your focus is ultimately what determines your success. The world constantly competes for your attention, whether it's notifications on your phone, people calling you, texting you, and I've learned that your ability to deeply focus on one critical task far outweighs talent and resources combined. The most successful people aren't necessarily the smartest. Trust me, I've been in rooms with them, and some of the most successful people are actually very stupid. They just know how to relentlessly focus on their goals despite all the distraction. Focus is just saying no to everything but the one thing you're supposed to be doing. But in order to do that one thing, you need to know what the one thing is. So figure out your tasks, figure out your main goal, and say no to everything else. Most of the time when we say we're working, we're just really inefficient workers. One thing that helps me is I have a dark room, put on focus music in your headphones. The lo-fi music girl with piano or saxophones works for me. Dim the room light so everything around you doesn't distract you. Leave your phone off in another room and just have your task. Set a 90-minute timer and get to work. The third thing that I learned after messing up a lot is stick to one thing. This was one of the biggest mistakes I was making my entire life. Always switching around to new business models or trying to do multiple things at once. But I've learned until you're truly great at something, don't diversify. The shiny object is a lie 99% of the time. The grass is not greener on the other side. Every side of the fence has some crap in it, and there's no way around the crap. No matter which business model you choose, no matter which girl you're dating, no matter which family you're born into. So trust the process and become excellent at one skill or one business model first. Mastery creates momentum and opens doors that chasing multiple opportunities never can. I always talk to clients and they tell me like, well, if I only stick to one thing, then I'll leave this opportunity. Listen, there's people selling paintings for millions of dollars. I think there was one recently sold like a banana taped to a wall and it sold for $6 million. You can't get that that customer, because you can't be an artist and a painter. So you can't get every customer in every space and chase everything at once. The man who chases two rabbits catches none. So for me, this idea only stuck with me when I was running a life insurance lead company. There was people near me doing e-com brands, making tons of money, but I was at a steady 20 to 60K a month, literally at the beginning of the company. And at the time, I tried venturing out and trying something else, but the main business suffered and it provided diminishing returns. So I realized that if I just invest the time that I'm investing to start a new business into the one I already have and is now working, the ROI will be exponentially more. And I think every single person has more to invest in their current business before starting a new one. So I stuck to that and I wrote it out, and something amazing happened. I started working with one of the biggest life insurance companies as their main lead provider. They had over 2,500 agents that I was providing lead for. So the switch to working with brands and other businesses was a very seamless and natural transition. And it was still in alignment with what I was doing before in life insurance. It's just another demographic I pivoted to. And now I've been in this for as long as I can remember. Number 4 is build systems early. I would always wonder why I would take every business to around 10 to 20K a month and then plateau there. Well, in the business's early stages, you are the ceiling of your business. And so your presence in the business is responsible for 100% of the outcomes. Later stages, you have employees, you have systems. And so even if you're not there, your presence is responsible for maybe 5% of the outcomes. But in the beginning, that's what it is. And so something I realized early on was it's not necessarily the business model. Something just hits a ceiling without systems. Every time I started scaling in any business I was running, I quickly became overwhelmed because I didn't create systems to handle that growth. So I was being torn apart from every angle, wondering, what am I doing wrong? So I always got stuck at my natural limits and I was just a glorified employee. So make sure as soon as you can, invest money, invest time, build processes, SOPs, and delegate or automate repetitive tasks so you can focus more on the bigger moves. If you don't know which tasks or processes to delegate and build systems for, just bring on an operations guy for a one-time consultation and he'll help you out. The 5th thing, in no particular order, that I learned is to invest in yourself first. When you start making money, and even when you don't have money, the greatest investment is in your own growth. You are the product of your knowledge and your application of that knowledge. So courses, coaching, masterminds, every dollar should be spent back into yourself, because what moves you forward and what determines your heights is the skills and the knowledge that you have. When you learn how to advertise, you learn to advertise. In that process will be content creation, video scripting, editing, strategy, team building, and the list continues. So you learn those skills, and in exchange for having those skills, the marketplace will reward you what you're worth. And so after being a part of multiple businesses, I learned that marketing well and team building was one of the hardest things about business, and it was often a bottleneck for a lot of people. And it's even what a lot of growth operators or marketing agencies lack themselves. And so I compiled my marketing skills, spent up to 6 figures in courses, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars of my own money to advertise, built and managed a team, and I offer myself now as a brand's marketing team. So after countless masterminds, courses, from the first levels even until now, I spend time, I spend money improving myself, and today I'm reaping the benefits. The 6th thing is consistency is key in every area of your life. Fitness, prayer, learning, or work, consistency is always key. You'd be surprised how much progress you can make in just 30 or 60 days by consistently doing the things that you know you should be doing, but you always put off. Procrastination has personally been one of my biggest struggles, especially procrastination that doesn't even look like procrastination, like reading more or learning or talking about doing things without actually doing them. And I've learned that you can know all the theory in the world, but theory without practical application is useless. So actually do more. Write down the top 1 to 3 tasks that move you forward, write them in your calendar, and actually just do it. My last point is to celebrate small wins. Doing this may be hard sometimes, it's really helpful. At the end of the day, we're not robots, and we can't constantly be working and never taking time to celebrate small wins and just take a deep breath, reflect on what just happened. When you have a small win, reward yourself. Maybe for you, it's a night out with your significant other. Maybe it's a smoothie that day after accomplishing something. Maybe it's just getting yourself a shoe or headphones that you've been wanting for a while. Gamify your life, gamify your business, and let yourself eat of the fruits that you've earned and worked for a more fulfilled and sustainable journey. So those are the 7 things I've learned in my journey getting to where I am now. Please be sure to comment down below any questions you have about brand building or marketing, and I'll be sure to make a video about it or get back to you soon. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.